This short video is brought to you by TURF, Twin Towns United Regeneration Forum, a group of people who, like many others, wish to help the rejuvenation of our two great towns. In this case, by providing a stage each year for 10 different speakers to tell residents all about their projects that are already happening. So, at the end of May 2017, the Fitznew event was held, once again in the Trinity Harvest Centre. This 15-minute video brings you the highlights of these projects that are happening in your town. Each speaker was given a strict 5 minutes, with slides if they wanted, to tell the audience what their project is about and how it is good for the towns. The event was filmed and recorded, and the highlights are included in this video. It is available to share as widely as possible. Our belief is that the more people that believe the towns of Banff and Macduff are on the way up, then the better that will happen. Our first speaker was Corey McCall, the Principal Harbours Officer for the 7 council-owned harbours, including the important commercial one of Macduff and the leisure harbour in Banff. Lots of people remember when Macduff was a really busy fishing port, but Macduff was not given designated port status for landing fish when the Common Fisheries Policy came in. Although special arrangements could be made, and a few fish landings were made each year, recent efforts by the Harbour Service has resulted in a relaxation of the rules for Macduff, so that more fish landings are now allowed. This can shorten voyage lengths and allow fishing boats to take more advantage of the harbour and shipyard facilities. To aid this further, a chill room has been installed in the fish market building, so landings can be taken straight in, before being transferred to onward road transport. A new and easier system for loading ice into fishing vessels is now also available in Macduff, and a review on the feasibility for having an ice machine is being undertaken. Part of the Bankhead area has been cleared and hardcored, so it can act as badly needed additional car parking. The port has also joined 2 chemo schemes. Chemo, initials from the Danish, is the local authority's international environment organisation. One scheme is the recycling of old nets. Working with various owners has allowed some tidying up of the harbour, and landing facilities are now provided for boats to land litter that they have fished up at sea. Improvements for the Lang Street Bankhead area will also be underway for the end of 2017, with further changes being studied as proposed in the Macduff Harbour Master Plan. Banff is a leisure harbour, and to enhance the facilities, the storage compound is to be extended. The slip will be extended as well, so it can be used by many more states of the tide, aimed at approximately 20 hours out of the 24. Plans are also progressing to have a mobile boat lift facility available to make it easier and safer for boats to be taken out of the water and into the storage compound. Julian Watson of the Banff Preservation and Heritage Society then gave us a summary of some of Creative Banff's projects. Not a formal name, but a description that links several projects together. This well-known project is developing at the Meal House at the bottom of Bridge Street into a silversmithing workshop. All the funding is in place, and the refurbishment of the building was expected to be complete by the end of the year. At the time of making this video in November, the project remains on schedule. The intent is that an experienced silversmith will operate the establishment to run courses for students, a viewing area for visitors, and a shop for customers. Spin-offs from the project should add further value for the towns in due course, not just to enhance the tourist experience, but having silver exhibitions, Duff House 2018, and hopefully renovate buildings to provide student accommodation. Whether the Banff Silver Hallmark can be legally resurrected is something to aim for. The Museum of Banff is just finishing its major overhaul, in conjunction with refurbishment of the library in the same building. The library has already reopened in October of this year, now with disabled access and toilets, and the museum should be open soon. It will be bigger, have lift access, and with general reinterpretation. Banff Castle has been developed over the last few years, each step working towards a number of aims. The gates to the courtyard, so well decorated with wolves' heads by artist Carn Standing, will be able to designate the performance space. The courtyard will be resurfaced, intended to be used as a music or drama venue. The plan came into fruition in the autumn of 2017 with a music festival held at Banff Castle. The old toilet block on North Castle Street was acquired a while back, and planning and permission has now been granted. Funding efforts continue, but the plan is to have this as a writer's studio, where they can live and write with access to the tranquility and great views across Banff Bay. Christine Webster then explained some of Aberdeenshire Council's work towards regenerating Banff and Macduff. The word regeneration may not always be ideal. The plan is not to go back to how the towns were, but to develop them, looking at the buildings, but especially prosperity and the people. Each little effort adds up to the big picture. Christine eloquently expresses how everyone can play a part in the future success of the towns.
If I did have a magic wand and I wished one thing for Banff and Macduff, it would be to implore each and every one of you here tonight to be 100% much more positive about our towns, about what they are today, not what they used to be like or what they should be like, but what they are today. Because I know as soon as that confidence can grow in our community, then that is the start for attracting investment and more people to come here.
So Aberdeenshire Council have created development partnerships in each town, a mixture of council staff, councillors, local businesses and local people. The Macduff Development Partnership has created its Macduff Vision. And the Banff Development Partnership has a vision too. Christine explains some of the other initiatives that are already taking place. Keith Newton, Chair of the Friends of Macduff Marine Aquarium, describes some of their recent projects. Friends have made substantial donations to allow the futuristic tank for the octopus to be purchased and installed. That featured on the One Show earlier in 2017. Perhaps FOMA's best known project is the annual Macduff calendar. Photos were accepted for most of the summer, and the Macduff calendar of 2018 was launched at the end of October. Copies are now available from the aquarium. FOMA is also very proud to have won the first round of the Tesco Bags for Help scheme, and several pieces of play equipment have been installed outside the aquarium. A competition was held with the local schools to name the boat, and the winner came and poured champagne from the bow with an engraved quaich in a special naming ceremony. It has been great to see this equipment being used so much throughout the year. Friends will be moving forward, supporting the reopening of the aquarium and look forward to working towards its future development. Claire Matthews, manager of the aquarium, gave some interesting facts. Visitor numbers have continued to increase, and there have been several highlights throughout the year, not least the One Show and Countryfile filming. Of real local interest was the refurbishment of the aquarium, and Claire explained that this started with some repairs that could just not be delayed. The importance of the aquarium to the area, however, continued to be recognised by the council, and they took the opportunity to undertake a number of improvements to take the aquarium into the future. The Big Splash celebration of the reopening and the aquarium's 20th birthday took place at the end of October with over 1,000 visitors. The evening continued with Turf itself giving a resume of some of the retail developments. The number of retail businesses with a public counter hadn't grown in the year to May, but several substantial businesses in both towns had had makeovers. Several new shops have replaced those that have moved on, but also the completion of the Macduff and Devon Community and Sports Centre has been a major factor in the range of facilities available. There has also been an updated play park, new allotment areas, and a community growing project started up. Naomi is the local project officer working for the council's Regeneration team. As a local Quine, she has a real passion for the towns where she was brought up and her family continue to live.
I have so much pride in our two towns, and I really hope you all do as well. I think think we live in an absolutely beautiful part of the world. I think we have so much to be proud of, and I think our towns have so much to offer to us, to tourists, to everyone. There's a lot to be developed, there is, and there's a lot that we can do together to work forwards.
Although Naomi has only been in post for less than a year, she has already kicked off with some projects. The first, the 10-year celebration of the opening of Banff Marina, was a great success, being part of the much wider Coastal Fringe Festival in both towns. She is promoting the work of the Town Centre First principle, which Aberdeenshire Council is unique in having adopted, which involves decision-making officers ensuring that town centres are taken into consideration for any decisions being made. A key project that has arisen from both development partnerships is to promote the history, culture and heritage of the two towns in a far better way. A heritage trail project is being developed, and phase 1 of which is currently underway. Both local primary schools are working to create a treasure trail, both in Banff, Macduff and at Duff House. This collaborative project is enabling the pupils both to learn the history and culture of their area, but also digital skills as they are helping to write and develop the app itself. This is likely to launch either the end of 2017 or into 2018. Des Jean is a well-known local businessman. He has, this year, invested heavily in his popular Spotty Bag shop. This has been expanded, and the new shop opened in June, ahead of schedule. The much expanded Bridge restaurant, with views over the river and bay, opened a few weeks later and is now a busy eatery at all times of the day. Des was mindful that his talk last year used Leicester City winning the Premier League as a good example of teamwork, and so it was just as fitting to use them as an example of what not to be like this year. Des was keen that Banff and Macduff should not fall into that same trap, and wants everyone to take the two towns forward into the future. Because if we don't, he is concerned.
The opportunity to propose the establishment of Brand Banff and its community, developing for the future. Failure to do this, and we might as well put a sign up that reads, Banff and Macduff, closed for business. As Donald Trump once said, let's make America great again. Well, I say, let's make Banff and Macduff great again. Thank you.
Alan Horbury is the new head teacher at Banff Academy. He realises that while some figures may not look too bad on the surface, there are many challenges which should not be ignored. The aim is that Banff Academy pupils will stand out amongst the rest. To be successful in the future world, whatever that may look like, they need to have some real skills. To help them get these skills and practice them, the school works with many national and international organisations. But there is a potential win-win to involve local businesses too, as it is these students that will be the future local workforce.
Because if we don't do that, then we will have that as a butterfly without wings. Right? Our young people will be butterflies without wings unless we give them those employability skills. Because we do want them to turn into that. Well, we can only do that if they've got good qualifications, they're confident, successful, effective young people. But I need to do that in collaboration. And that's why I'm here tonight.
The next speaker, Donald Fraser, gave some figures to underline the impact that the new community and sports centres have already had locally. Both had already had tens of thousands of people through the doors, and both have given rise to new community organisations. In addition to the Devon and Myris centres, the Macduff Arts Centre downstairs has had a whole new recording studio installed, following a request from previous consultations. The last speaker of the evening was David McCubbin from Visit Aberdeenshire. They are the official organisation to develop and deliver the local tourism strategy. The area is promoted in many ways, through social media, websites, event listings and via Visit Scotland centres. Visit Aberdeenshire also offers advice and support to new and existing tourism related businesses and also events. David is local and always keen to understand what is happening. He concluded with a few national and local figures to show how important the tourism business is to the local economy. Thank you for watching this short video, and especially for your interest in the rejuvenation of Banff and Macduff. Many of the people and organisations involved in it are very open to discussing new and positive ideas to add to the efforts that are taking place. Many of these have been mentioned in this presentation, but there are many more initiatives out there as well. Please be in touch if you would like to discuss how you can help the development of Banff and Macduff, or if you have a good idea you would like to input. You'll be very welcome.